Yeah, like I think yes, I think we can start the session. So, good evening everyone. As Sakshi Nalawade, Head Coordinator of AICVS, welcome you all for our first session of webinar series AICVS 3.0. I hope you all are excited and geared up for the today's session. So stay tuned with us till end to make most out of it. Our today's speaker is Sai Ghule. She is currently a final year computer engineering student at CCOW. Sai is currently working on a research project at IIT Bombay. Along with that, she is also a General Secretary of CCAW. Has also worked as a lead research fellow at UET California. Sai won the CityBridge Program 21. She was former public relations head at AICVS. Today she will be speaking on the topic Is engineering all about getting a fancy job? In this, she will cover how to land a good job after your engineering. Also, she'll give you all suggestions on how to work towards your career and understand what is your passion. She'll also give an overview about research, masters, and will take us all through her journey of 4 years of engineering. So, without any further ado, I'll ask Sai to start with her session.
So, hello everyone. I am Sai Ghule from final year of engineering computer science from Cummins College of Engineering. And for this session, I'll just turn off my camera till I present and then I'll again switch it on. Okay, so the topic for today's session is engineering all about getting a fancy job? So, this is a disclaimer. And this is the agenda for today. So, firstly, I'll begin with asking you guys that is engineering at all about getting a fancy job? So, I want each and every one of you to think about this. As towards the end, I'm going to ask you all, what did you think about? So, quickly just, recap your journey till the 12th standard and then ask yourself, like, why did you choose engineering and what do you want by the end of these 4 years? Secondly, I'll tell you guys about my journey through engineering. And thirdly, if engineering is your passion and if you really want a job, then how can you get one? That I'll be telling you guys. Fourthly, if engineering is not your passion and if you do not like what you're doing right now, then what to do? And fifth point is what to do if you want to pursue engineering or something for your masters, but right now you don't want a job, then what will you do? So these are my qualifications to give the talk. I work as a research project intern at IIT Bombay. I have worked as a lead research fellow at University of Emerging Technologies, California. I've worked as a management trainee at Emergetech Foundation. I was the winner of last year's City Bridge. I was the winner of IBM Hackathon. I have interned at an agricultural startup called Emergetech. I was the training and placement cell coordinator for the com department for the past year. Currently, I'm the operations secretary at Cummins. I had my paper published, being in the top 15 seminars from the com department. And I recently got a job in PwC, so I'm an incoming technology consultant at PwC India. So ask yourself why you're doing engineering, and I'll tell you guys a little brief background about myself. So as you guys could see that I started all of my achievements during the second half of my second year, which was a pretty late as per me. And in my first year or the first half of my second year, I really did not have any mentors or I did not know what should I do in life. Today in this session, I guess we have first year, second year, third year, fourth year students from all different colleges. The first years will be probably confused about, what are we supposed to do here because they haven't even seen the offline college. The second years have a little idea of, what are they doing in engineering and everything, but they still don't know how to start building their profile. The third years are here today, I guess, solely for the purpose of, to know how to get an internship or to get placements. And the fourth years are probably here to cheer me up. So thank you for coming. So, participate in hackathons. So, the first thing from where I started my career in engineering was participating in hackathons. I was in my fourth sem of engineering, that is towards the end of the second year, when our innovation was going on. Innovation is the technical fest of Cummins, and one girl came in a class for telling us that this year the hackathon is going to be sponsored by IBM, and I was really really afraid to even participate in the hackathon because I thought I am just a second year student, and how am I even going to compete with the third years and fourth years, and not just from our college, but they were from like literally all colleges: UAP, PICT, PVG, AICVS. So I thought that I shouldn't even participate because there's no chance of me winning over there. But I somehow managed the courage to participate in the hackathon, and I actually won it. So, one thing about hackathons is don't quit without even trying. Participate in hackathons. Hackathons and technical events can really be the point where you kickstart your career. So I'll tell you about the IBM hackathon, which was during the innovation of Feb 2020. So, what is a hackathon? So, in a hackathon, you were given a problem statement. So, during that time, we were given the problem statement of climatic changes and disaster management. So, you have to come up with an innovative solution. In some cases, you have to just present a prototype with the idea, and in some cases, you have to build an end-to-end model. So, in our case, we just had to give a solution, and we had to build a prototype. We were given 2 days for coming up with the solution, and as in second year you do not know a lot of technologies, you just know basic coding, and that's all. So this was the same case with me, but in those 2 days of hackathon I actually had to learn blockchain, machine learning, and web development literally from scratch. I had never even heard of blockchain before the hackathon, and in those 2 days, I knew a lot of different technologies. So why I stress on participating in hackathons is because you don't learn these technologies in your regular curriculum. You would spend an entire semester learning one subject, but that same subject you'll have to implement in a day during a hackathon. So the learning curve is like very high. So what me and my team did was we built a blockchain-based system for tracking donations. So during floods, what happens is the money does not reach the people. The money does not reach the victims. So we used blockchain there with the help of Ethereum, and we had a machine learning component as well. So IBM had it compulsory to use the IBM Watson's some service. So we used IBM Watson's chatbot, and we had a front end web development website. And this is how, being an SY team, we won the hackathon. The second hackathon I participated in was in my TY. It was the NASA Space App Challenge. We were the finalist of the hackathon as well. So this hackathon was actually initiated by a junior. It's like she came to me and she wanted to participate, and then me and my team, we all participated in it together. So here what we did was we had an IoT based system. So we had a tire pad which would absorb emissions, and then an IoT sensor which would connect it to the cloud, and then an AI based app which would tell that how much pollution has been absorbed by the tire pad, how much more pollution it can absorb, and thus it was more an environment friendly kind of a thing. We made it to the finals. So in this hackathon as well, I learned something called as IoT, Internet of Things, which was completely new to me at that time. But again, in that 1 day or 2 days time, we learned it. So the other hackathons and events you can participate in are Vaptech Campus Challenge, Smart India Hackathon, and technical competitions during Tech Fest of COAP, PICT, IIT Bombay, etc. And the most important thing, the Tech Fest of our own, which is innovation. And fourthly, Kaggle competitions. Here I would like to stress on Smart India Hackathon, because Smart India Hackathon is like the largest hackathon you can participate in. It is on a national level, and the last year we did not have Smart India Hackathon, but this year they are having Smart India Hackathon. So I hope to see you all participating in it. And the Kaggle competitions. So Kaggle competitions are mostly ML and AI based, wherein you're given some problem statement like breast cancer cell detection, and then you have to come up with a model, and the person with the highest accuracy, the highest precision, is declared as the winner of the Kaggle competition. So AICVS keeps Kaggle competitions like every monthly or so. So if you are an ML enthusiast, do participate in Kaggle competitions. It is important. So AICVS was a milestone in my career. Student clubs change your life for good. Before AICVS, I had a limited group of people I used to interact with, and that's why my thought process was also very limited. It is said that your thoughts are influenced by the people you are with. Why participating in student clubs is so important? Why does everybody run behind being the head of a club or being in a club in the first place? Is because of networking. The network you get when you are in a student club is something which you cannot get anywhere else. I never knew any seniors before I was in AICVS, and thus there was nobody to tell me what to do and what not to do. But when I became the head PR of AICVS, I had a bunch of seniors who could mentor me, who could tell me that, now what should I do in my life? And most importantly, the peers I worked with, the other heads I worked with, I was so influenced by their thought processes and their ambitions and the things they were inspired by, that I also tried I also started working day and night because everybody around me was working. So it shaped me and it shaped my life. So important thing is to participate in student clubs and try to be one of the heads or something in the club. Now, thirdly, the importance of courses along with the college curriculum. We all have subjects in our regular college life, but then why are courses so important? Now, for example, if you have database management systems in a college, but then you want to learn something which is beyond DBMS, you want to learn, suppose, data mining or something, if you want to learn data analytics or something, but which is not taught in your curriculum, then at such times you should really opt for different courses. And why different courses are important and why you should do them from FY is that you get to explore yourself. The first course I did was Udemy's web development bootcamp. When you're in your first year or in your second year, you have this hype of web development, and everybody usually starts with web development or app development. And even I started that. So some of my friends, they found their way in web development and they're still doing it and they found their passion. But while I was doing web development, I found out that this is not something which I can do lifelong. So I switched to another course. I started exploring Python. So I did a few courses on IBM's Cognitive AI. So IBM's Cognitive AI is a site where you can do courses for free. Those are short courses, you get certification, and it's absolutely free. So you all should try it out. Thirdly, when I was exploring Python, I did one or two courses on Python. I came across machine learning. We all know how important machine learning is in today's era. I had heard of machine learning before, but I never knew what it is about. So while exploring Python, I started doing machine learning on the side as well. In our college, we have this summer of learning thing wherein you have to select a course, you do the course with the help of your mentors, and you get a certificate for it as well. Summer of learning usually happens around April or May every year. So at my time, I enrolled in summer of learning. So during summer of learning, I enrolled in this deep learning specialization course on Coursera, in which I learned about neural networks, hyperparameter tuning, and everything. I won't go into much details. But because I participated in the Summer of Learning initiative, I did the deep learning specialization. One mistake which I did from jumping from one course to another course was uh, my machine learning course. I did not, you know, dig deep into it, and I directly jumped on to something higher level like convolutional neural networks, which is a part of deep learning specialization. And then I realized that I should have gone deeper into machine learning's basic algorithms first and then jumped to CNN or something. So don't just jump from one thing to another thing, from one level to another level. First, try to understand completely what you are doing right now. If you're done with a course, try to implement something. Don't just have a certificate of it. For example, if you're learning web development, build a website. Don't just have a certificate and post it on LinkedIn or something. Have something done and then you can post it along with the certificate. So, when I was doing the deep learning specialization, somewhere I realized that I am more interested in theoretical stuff than the actual implementation. So I started moving towards cognitive AI, towards more theoretical stuff. And I found this course called as Mind and Machine on Coursera. So this course is about theory, Alan Turing, and how he basically started cognitive AI, and it talks about consciousness and everything. So I found that course pretty interesting, and then I thought that I should take up this topic as my research interest. So I worked as a lead research fellow at University of Emerging Technologies, California. This is a startup based in California. So how did I get this internship? I interned at this place for complete 1 year. I was researching for complete 1 year. So networking is very important to land any research internships. Research internship is not something which somebody will come and give it in your hand. No, you have to struggle a lot for getting a research internship. LinkedIn is the most important tool for a student. The more good connections you have, the more good referrals or opportunities you get via LinkedIn. Other platforms like Internchala or cold emailing are also useful. Now, what do I mean by cold emailing? If you suppose want to work as a research assistant for a professor at IIT, you simply write an email stating that you liked his work and you want to work with him and something like that, and you mail the professor. Most of the times the professors do not have time to read each and everybody's mail, so this thing requires a bit of luck. If you're lucky enough, you get a reply from the professor, and then a meeting is scheduled, and then you start working with him or her. So I got this internship via LinkedIn and networking, and as I mentioned, that I did the course called Mind and Machine, which was on cognitive AI. I started researching over here on cognitive artificial intelligence as well. I started researching on a map to general intelligence. I was going too deep into philosophy and consciousness and defining intelligence and all those things. I was in my TY, I guess. I was in my TY when I started this internship, and it was pretty hectic, to do it with college curriculum and everything. And the topic which I had chosen for my research, it was pretty intense. So somewhere after a few months of researching and reading different papers, I switched my research interest to genetic algorithms. Now, genetic algorithms are based on Darwin's theory of evolution, if you guys don't know. So I started developing interest into bioinformatics, or biology ML side of the things. I started working on this topic called as reproducing images using genetic algorithms, which was pretty interesting. So what I want to tell you guys is I started from web development, and then I went to Python, and then I went to machine learning, and then I dug deep into deep learning and CNNs and etc. Then I went to cognitive AI, and then finally somewhere I went to the biology side of things and genetic algorithms. So I spent a year on this research, and that was with an international team. So the exposure you get working with an international team is really huge. You get to know different people and you get to know the different work. We all live in India and we are used to a typical Indian methodology for research. But when you work with somebody from the US or somebody from Africa, you know how different people do research, and that's what inspired me more to do research with them. So I also worked as a management trainee at Emergetech Foundation. So Emergetech Foundation is basically the twin company of UET California. It is also a California-based startup. So seeing my leadership skills in my research during my research work and everything, I used to lead all 30 research fellows also. So they took me in their leadership team. The leadership team is the main team who runs the startup. I was just a 19-year-old kid between all 30 years and 40-year-old people, and I'm really glad I got an opportunity to work in the same. So I was made head of an entire department called as the brandsmiths, and I was responsible for planning, strategizing, and at times I've also recruited people for the startup as well. I liked working as the management trainee so much that I thought that now this is what I want to do in life. So initially, I wanted to be in CS, do coding, and get a job. Then I wanted to do research. I wanted to quit CS completely and focus completely on research. And now, after this management trainee internship, I wanted to go completely into management and forget research and CS and everything. So this is how a student changes his or her opinion during their engineering life, and you're allowed to change because you are allowed to explore different things during engineering, and you should explore. So one thing about this management trainee internship is that I got to know how about my own leadership skills. At times, there were times when all the senior leaders had something to do, and the entire responsibility of a task, like suppose we had to get our website running, I was given the entire responsibility to get the website running, checking with the developer, getting the all bugs like debugging and etc. So I also learned good strategy and e-business skills with it as well. Now, coming to the next point is mentorship and their importance. This point is very, very important. If you guys don't know, these are the following programs. These are the companies which offer these programs. So, mentorship is basically a company takes you and they guide you. It's not a job, it's not an internship. They teach you and guide you. So these are the following mentorships which are in Cummins. Like these opportunities, we all get this opportunity in Cummins. I really don't know if these are available in other colleges or not. The first is the PwC ACA program by PwC India. Second is City Bridge program by City. Then we have VTech, Goldman Sachs scholarship, JP Morgan program, Microsoft Engaged, DE Shaw, and Flipkart. For the mentorships I received, so PwC is one of the big four consulting companies in the world, and I was selected among top five students from the college for PwC ACA mentorship program in my TY. So we had to write an essay on leading oneself. So I wrote an essay in which I told them about my life story and how I overcame different situations and how leading oneself is more important than leading a group of people. Like if you cannot lead yourself in life, how can you ever lead a group of people? So one important thing about writing such essays for any applications, may it be for summer school applications, for winter school applications, for your masters, for anything, you have to be true to yourself. Do not use flowery language or do not Google stuff. Do not use quotes and this and that. They understand that that is not genuine. Be true. Write your own story, and this is how you will get into mentorships. So, PwC mentorship was a life changing thing for me. Before PwC mentorship, as I mentioned, I was confused as to what to do in life. Do I get a job, go into coding? Do I do research? If I do research, what do I do research in? Do I do research in machine learning? Do I do research in theoretical part of machine learning, that is cognitive AI? Do I go into biology kind of things, like the genetic algorithms and etc., or I completely just drop everything and go into management? I was very, very confused. But in this mentorship, I found the passion of my life. I came across consulting, technology consulting. So before this, I never knew what technology consulting is or what technology consultant does. I just knew that there are, like, big four consulting companies, but I never knew that there was something called as technology consulting as well. I did not know that there can be a bridge between technology and management and something. And I thought that this might be the best thing I can do in life, because we all are, good in technology and everything. But then if you realize at some point of time that your leadership skills are better than your technology skills or something, you should definitely go for something like tech consulting or management. So now I am also placed at PwC. I later got job in the same company as well. I did not try for most of the companies. I wanted to do consulting and nothing else. I had decided that in life, so I just went for the same company and got the job. The second mentorship I received was of Citibank. So CityBridge is a unique program for comp and IT students from Cummins, where 100 girls are selected, and they're trained for 100 hours of City. And finally, you have to make a full stack project. So first, they teach you things like Angular JS and Spring Boot and databases and how to connect them and etc. So me and my team were the winners of CityBridge 2021. So this is about the mentorships I received. You can contact people on LinkedIn for the mentorships I mentioned earlier as well. I also got a mentorship in JP Morgan, but due to all other commitments, I could not continue with that. So these were the two mentorships I focused on. So this is about my summer internship after DY. I was already doing the research internship, which I mentioned. I was doing the management internship, but a summer internship was compulsory as per the college norms. So I wanted to do something different. So I interned at an agricultural startup called as Krishtech. And the most important thing which I realized in this startup is the importance of data for machine learning. I had done some good work in machine learning before. I had done research in machine learning before, but it was until this internship that I never, like, till this internship I never realized the importance of data. For this internship, I had to make the data set from scratch. There was no data set provided. Usually what we do is we go on Google, we download a data set, we run a few algorithms, and we have a model, and that seems pretty easy. But what to do when data is not available? So this internship again taught me the importance of machine learning, and why should you learn machine learning in depth, and not not machine learning should be learned in depth, and it shouldn't be like you go on Coursera and you do a course or something and then you just have a certificate, and that is not basically machine learning is what I learned. So again, this is a college activity, the seminar thing. During your TY second sem, each department has a seminar for 2 credits. So usually what people do is they just take up the seminar activity as something they want to pass in and move on like other subjects. But this is a huge opportunity for getting started with research and having your own research paper or something. So com department, at least the com department every year selects top 15 seminars and asks the student to write a paper on it. I'm pretty sure other departments also might be doing this, but like com department for sure has this thing. So I was lucky enough to be in the top 15 of the seminars, and my topic was nature inspired optimization algorithms. So again, during this seminar, I realized that nature inspired algorithms is something I am interested in. So this keeps on happening during engineering. You find different fields which you are interested in. You find you want to go make your career in different things. So again, this topic was something which inspired me to again go back to mathematics and calculus and all those things. It was really fun, and I hope a lot of you do your seminars pretty seriously this time. So I've always been a person who wants to do leadership, who had leadership abilities, and I like helping people and being a leader as well. So I started my leadership roles from very basic, being the class representative, the CR for TY and final year. If you want to go up the ladder, you have to take baby steps. It's not like today you are in a second year and you get to be at the apex of all the leadership roles. No, it does not work like that. Start from something small. So I started being the CR. Then in the TY, I was the training and placement cell representative. I used to manage all the internship and placement things for comments. Now in my final year, I am the operations secretary. Operations secretary is like the general secretary in SPPU colleges. In comments, we have the name as operations secretary. Being the operations secretary was a long time dream for me. When I was in my first year, I used to see our general secretary at that time, and I wanted it. I wanted to be a part of the panel, and I wanted to organize all the activities and everything just as she did. So after 2 years of achieving different things, and after 2 years of demonstrating good leadership qualities, I finally got to be the operations secretary this year. So my current project is a research project at IIT Bombay. This is part of my BTech project. So for those who do not know what a BTech project is, BTech in the final year of engineering, you have to take up a year-long project for which you have credits, the highest credits actually. You have less number of subjects in a BTech, and you have to primarily focus on the BTech project. So I wanted to do something in research only for my BTech project, and I got an opportunity at IIT Bombay to do so. This project is based on compilers. It is a core CS project. Now, you all might have this question that, she's saying that she found a true passion in consulting, and she likes management as well, and she has done research in ML before. Then why take up a core topic like compilers? Now, as I have mentioned earlier, that I have always been switching from this field to another field. Before completing my engineering, I wanted to understand the science in the computer science. What we all do these days is we just mug up a few codes, and we do data structures and algorithms, and we all just do it for placement's sake. But I really, really, really wanted to understand computer science before I pass out from the college. So I took up this compiler project. Me and my team are working with the help of a professor from IIT Bombay on generating compiler phases from specifications of intermediate representation. Uh, the project is a bit on like the BTech level, so I wouldn't bombard the FY and SY students with the details. If any of the TY students want to know more about this project of IIT Bombay, you can find more information on this given site. Last and the most important thing of my journey is giving back to the community. As I mentioned earlier, I did not have mentors while growing up in my FY or SY. So during my TY, during the initial stages of my TY only, I started giving back to the community. I started mentoring, and this one thing has really brought peace to my life. Every day almost, other people also with me who mentor, they literally have 3 or 4 meetings every day with students, and students literally come with the smallest of doubts, and you have to be for them being a good mentor. So I'm happy that I have reached out to different students, a lot of students till date, and I would like to continue my work of mentoring students for getting into research, for getting into placements, or students also come to me with general life questions as well, and I am really happy to help them with that. So if anybody of you is suffering from anything in life, may it be literally anything, you can always come to me with your problems. Now, the second part of this session, I guess you guys have given it a thought that why are you all doing engineering? So, if engineering is about getting a fancy job for you, then how to get one? So, these are some placement preparation tips. These are some standard tips, nothing new. So, if you are in your first year, start coding right now only. If you're in your second year and you haven't started coding yet, it is okay. I started coding during the end of my second year and I think I'm doing good. So don't feel like your friends have done so much, your friends have earned 5 stars on HackerRank and this and that, and you are nowhere. Do not think like that. You are in a second year, you may be in a third year, even maybe in your fourth year. You can start coding today, and within a few months of time, you will definitely land a good job. So code every day. Make it a habit of coding every day, at least one problem a day. Secondly, nothing is more important in placement than data structures and algorithms. So computer science and IT students already have data structures and algorithms. So ENTC students in Cummins, you guys have the subject, I know, but you guys have to push a little more. The thing is, because the comp and IT students have more subject focused on DSA and you all have more subject focused on electronics and electrical. But during placements, unfortunately, what happens is less number of companies come for core ENTC or something, and many of the ENTC students have to get placed into companies only. And in Cummins, you don't have to worry about that as well. Almost all ENTC people get placed in very, very, very nice companies. It's just that from your second year or first year itself, you guys also should start coding, and you should all like, start doing a little bit of CS subjects as well. So for starters, you guys can start with Lead Code. You can take any platform you want, but I suggest Lead Code for beginners because Lead Code is very beginner friendly and it is easy. Then you can go to GFG, which is Geek for Geeks. On Geek for Geeks, you have a dedicated section for each company like Walmart, Google, Microsoft, and you can go to that section and then practice. Then you can try HackerRank. For placements, Lead Code, Geeks for Geeks, and HackerRank are more than enough, is what I think. But if you want to go above and beyond, you can also try Core Chef and Code Forces. Like if you're really good at programming, do try Core Chef and Code Forces as well. But if you're not able to solve a problem on Code Forces per se, don't think that you won't get good placement. No, like hacker rank medium level is enough for getting placed in a very good company. Now the fourth point is your object oriented programming should be very, very strong. Now I'm not aware if all departments have the subject object oriented programming, but this is the most fundamental thing. The computer science department during our time had this subject called as principles of programming language, which had oops in it. The subject name may be different, but basically this should be taught, and if it is not taught, you guys should go on Google and solve different MCQs on it. Because what happens is, maybe company interview of like any company, this concept is stressed upon. Now other than DSA and OOPS, you should try doing DBMS. DBMS is database management systems, and queries of DBMS are asked in the interviews. Again, operating systems is another important subject. And finally, computer networks. If ENTC students, you all don't have operating systems or computer networks, you need not worry. The questions are a little different for ENTC students and a little different from COM students. COM students, they focus more on the core subject, and for ENTC people, then they substitute these questions with some puzzles or something. So you guys only focus on DSA and object-oriented programming and maybe DBMS. You may not go deep into core CS subjects like OS. Then in Cummins, companies start from the first day of TY itself. So in TY, we have companies coming for internships, like literally on the first day. Like Your college will start on the 1st of August, and on 1st of August you will have companies coming. So if you're in your second year, start preparing, because now the time left is very less. Again, most students are good with technical things, but some of them really lag during the management interviews or the HR interviews. So there's one friend of mine, she is literally one of the best coders I know, but she never used to go till the final round because the middle managerial round was always tough for her. The managerial round is usually like situation based questions and they check your confidence and all leadership roles and all those things. And which is a part of almost every company. It's not just technical questions. You are asked managerial behavior, HR questions, all of it. So if you have low confidence issues, please pair up with a friend and you can do the interviews together, like practice the interviews together. You ask a friend a question, the friend asks you a question. The same you can do for coding actually. Two of you start doing a problem on the same day. One person might come up with one thing and then you can share with the other person, and vice versa. Studying together always helps than studying individually, is what I think. And again, there are always off campus opportunities. So if you think that whatever placement you have got, you can get something better than that, then there are pretty good off campus opportunities. So in Cummins, you never really need to worry about it because our placements are very nice. You just name the company and the company comes to our college, so you do not worry of not getting a job. You will have ample of companies, and the opportunities are huge and everybody will get placed. That is the beauty of Cummins. But if you are from some different college, then you should and where your placement opportunities are not so good, you should definitely stress on off campus placements. Off campus placement opportunities are also huge. You can network a lot on LinkedIn. Try to get referrals from the people who are already working in that company and try to get an interview. Also, the recently Microsoft has started this Microsoft Engage program, through which also they recruit students. So new companies are coming up with such new programs, and you can always try for them. So the final question being, if you do not want a job, then what can you do? Like, now you finished your 4 years of engineering, but now you don't want to do a job. But then what to do in life then? So first thing is masters in CS. Many people do a masters in CS. If you want to stick with, like, if you want to stick with CS, then you can do masters in CS. If you want to do your masters in India, then you have to give the GATE exam. Then you can do MTech in IITs, NITs, any college you want. Then if you want to do masters abroad, you need GRE. You need to give GRE. You need to have LORs. You need to have SOPs. You need to have a good profile. If somebody is planning to do a master's abroad, you need to maintain a good profile right from now. Like right from the second year, you need to have a very good profile and try to do something in research, because research always helps for a master's abroad. Secondly, if you do not want to do computer science, be like you want to just drop computer science or ENTC or mechanical, whatever it is, not your thing only, then do an MBA. If you want to go into management, just drop everything, do an MBA. There are some of our seniors who directly went for MBA after like 6 months of college or so. If you plan to do an MBA in India, you can do with very little experience or no experience at all. You need to give CAT exam. But if you're planning to do an MBA abroad, then a minimum 3 years of experience is required. So if you're planning to do MBA abroad, you have to work for a few years. Then the third thing is MIM degrees. It is a management degree in international management. So these days, more and more students are turning towards MBA and they do not have relevant experience. So colleges have come up with this new MIM degree where you can technically do an MBA, not exactly an MBA, but an MBA degree without having experience is basically MIM. Fourthly is masters in techno management. which I want to pursue someday in life. So, Masters in Techno Management is the MIS degree, which is Management Information Systems, and M Engineering, Management in Engineering. So, both these degrees are offered by many colleges in the US. I am not sure if MIS and M Engineering degrees are available in the Europe, but in US colleges it is for sure. So if there is any of you who want to do something in techno management, like consulting, which I want to do, you should definitely go for a techno management degree. Fourthly, a PhD. So if you want to do a PhD in Europe, it takes less years, like 3 to 4 years, and if you want to do that the same thing in USA, you need like minimum of 5 to 6 years. Now it is possible to do a PhD without having a master's degree. Some of the students from our college have only directly went for a PhD after the engineering. So after engineering, if you think that you do not want to waste your time in masters, you can definitely go for a direct PhD. And the next point is research fellowship. Now, if you don't want to do an MBA right now, you don't want to do a job, you want to have a good research profile so that you can apply for masters later, you should definitely look for research fellowship. Research fellowship is basically you work as a research assistant with a professor for a year or something. This opportunity is available at different IITs, NITs, ICER, etc. Again, you can cold email the professor or ask for referrals from the ex students and get a research fellowship. Then you can work for a year as a research fellow, and then you can go for masters or PhD or whatever you want. And the last point, if you do not want any of the above, please get inspired by Shark Tank and start something of your own. If anybody is into entrepreneurship, start your own startup. We're living in the age of startups, and startups are getting a boost every day. So if you have something in mind, just go for it. So usually, what people do is people either go for your masters or MBA or PhD or whatever directly after your engineering, or people take a 1 year job gap or 2 year job gap or whatever, and then go for their masters. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. So I'm concluding this session by these following points. If after 4 years of engineering you feel like this is not something you like, then remember you can switch to hundreds of different fields after engineering as well. If somebody is interested in astronomy and astrophysics, and if somebody always wanted to do that and now they're an engineer, but you can still go into that field with an engineering degree. If you're interested in biology and you have an engineering degree, you can go into completely like biology with engineering. You name the field, and that field you can go in with engineering. So if you do not like engineering at all, if you do not like what you're doing, don't ever think that this is the end. No, engineering opens ways to different things. So engineering is just the beginning of your career and not the end of it. In the end, what matters is you looking at yourself in the mirror and being proud of what you have achieved without comparing with what others are doing. So be proud of yourself and be proud of where you are today. So thank you. You can feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm available to the students day and night. You can text me on LinkedIn or Instagram or any other platform, or you can even email me. So thank you so much, and I'm open for questions now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sai. So we'll start with the questions. So the first question we have is, can you explain how you got interested in technical consulting and what exactly is a job role?
Okay, so I got interested in technical consulting because of the mentorship at PwC. So technical consulting, initially when you join it, you have to do development role at some point. But in the after stages, like after 2 years or after 4 years, you get a managerial role pretty quickly. See, if you are a person who likes to talk with clients and is always on the business front and always has leadership skills, technical consulting is something for you. It's not like you do not have to code. If you're doing technical consulting, you have to code, but you get to managerial positions pretty quickly. Like within 2 years or 4 years. So if you are a techno management person, you should definitely go for technology consulting. There are other kinds of consulting as well, like management consulting and strategy consulting. You can see which consulting suits you the best.
Okay, thank you. So the next question we have is, can you suggest some courses regarding technical consulting and how to get started with it?
So I am not aware of courses as such, but like if you want to get started at it, you can sit for the placement opportunities at the consulting companies like PwC, Deloitte, McKinsey, Bain and Co. These are all the consulting companies. You can go on Google and just type in consulting companies. See, I'll just clear your confusion. What do people do after an MBA? People join consulting companies. What is an MBA? People do management consulting after that. So after MBA, the companies which you go in are these, the one like which I have joined, which I'll be joining right now, PwC. It is the second largest consulting company. First being Deloitte. And Deloitte and PwC, the two largest companies in the world, come in our campus for placements. So if you're looking for consulting, we have them in our college. Again, if these companies do not come in a college, you can always apply them for them off campus, or you can ask your seniors for referral.
Okay. Yeah, so the next question we have is, can you give some information about deciding the seminar topic for TY?
Okay, so first of all, see what interests you. I was always interested in machine learning and AI, so we have to give basically 5 to 3 topics. So I gave all 3 to 5 topics related to that. I was just googling randomly seminar topics for engineering. Everybody does that, and somewhere along the line, searching and searching and searching, I found out a research paper, and the research paper was about how ants build their colonies, and how that is being used into this technology, like, in computer science. And that was basically nature inspired algorithms which I worked on. So I just came across a research paper, and then I took that topic. So you can search for research papers like this. If the thing actually interests you, you can take up that as a topic. But remember, if you take the topic of a seminar to be a little off the road, you have to work a lot. Like my topic, information wasn't available on it, so I had to literally buy books and download research papers and then work on it. So if you want to go off road, just get ready to work a lot on it.
Okay. So yeah. Next question is, do we need to prepare basics of finance for City Bridge program test? What is all asked in test?
So you do not really need to prepare anything for the city bridge test. The finance questions are there obviously, but if you know basics, not even if you do not even know basics, now like for my own common sense, you can solve these questions. But at all, if you're concerned, just Google basic 10-20 finance questions and you will be good. The aptitude is like of any other company, uh, normal apti questions, the directional questions, and sort of numerical questions, and here and there. And the most important thing about City Bridge, what I think, is the personal response questions. No matter how good your apti is, the way you write in your personal response questions, and what you write is what gets you into City Bridge. So I've always been good with writing. So, writing is my favorite thing. So that's what got me into City Bridge. I think because my finance is not that nice. So if you're good with the personal response questions, you're good to go.
Okay, that's great. So the next is, can you clarify about CTC? Can you clarify about if the CTC is not mentioned in company's detail, will company offer PPO? Campus. Yeah,
I did not get the question. Like, do you
yeah.
want?
I'll
Can you
read out.
clarify about if CTC is not mentioned in company's
Mention the company's
details?
details. Will
See, if you're
company
talking
offer?
about comments, if you get an internship, there are 90% chances that you'll get a PPO and you cannot back out from it. Again, I'm telling you, you cannot back out from a PPO. The CTC may be given, it may not be given, you just cannot back out from the PPO. So keep that in mind while applying.
Okay, next question is how to get into PwC? How much level of coding we do need to get into that?
So PwC, so there are two different PwCs. One is PwC India, which is the consulting company, and one is PwC, which is they call it PwC Bangalore in Cummins. So the PwC Bangalore one is more into development side, coding and everything. So if you want to get into consulting, read the name properly, PwC India, and then only apply for it. So for PwC India, there were no coding questions as such because it is not a development job. There was an apti. The apti was a little tough. There were like normal apti questions, but a little tough. But if you're good with normal apti, you are good to go. And the interviews are also quite easy. See, if you want to get into tech consulting at this level, the questions are easy. The interviews are also super, super easy. But you should have what you can say, a future. If any of you is interested in working with PwC, you can always contact me. If you want to get into consulting, you can always contact me. I'll be happy to help.
Okay, I guess Piyush has the same question like Sandhya. The next question is how to join these mentorship programs.
Which mentorship program?
Yeah, she has not specified. I think she's asking in general. How can we join these mentorship programs?
Okay, so the city based program, an email comes for comp and IT students. You have to fill in the form and they select people. For DE Shaw, I guess you have to apply from their site. Goldman Sachs also you have to apply from their site. Baki programs, I guess you have to apply from their site only. Some programs our college sends the email, and if the college does not send the email, you have to check the website and apply. See, that's why networking is so important, right? Like if you do not even know these programs exist, how will you even apply? So
Yeah.
you need to be an active LinkedIn user to see if this person is applying, then now I will also apply. So try to have good networks and good friends who will tell you if they are applying. So be around good friends who will tell you.
Yes. I think we are done with the questions. So, Ritika has something to say. Yeah, your journey is really inspiring. That's so true.
Thank you so much. I just hope I was of some help, and I guess I hope I have inspired students to explore different fields and then finally choosing what you want to do in life.
Yeah, surely. Yes, definitely. You have inspired all of us. So, I think we can end the broadcast.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah, sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.